I think we're to the broadband discussion with providers, and we want to make this as informal as possible. Give you a little background. I'm sure that Derek has talked to you guys about it. The way this came about, probably 2-3 months ago, we began a discussion. We basically charged our planning board to give us a map of our county and show areas, that have adequate cell phone service and places that don't. Gives a color-coded map. Do the same thing with high-speed internet. We felt like that where we wanted to go as far as the county infrastructure, that this was probably the most important thing we could look at. And I tell you, other counties are starting to talk about this too. We're the first county, I think, in this region to begin this conversation. So we had that discussion here. The planning board basically did that. They came back with the maps. Okay, now what? We got some places that have great cell phone service and great internet. We got some places that have none. So what do we do? So we discussed it as a board and decided we would have several providers in the area. We wanted to have a public conversation with you and just begin the dialogue. It's an uncharted territory for counties like us. So that's why we invited you here. And you guys help with the introduction. You guys are with Broadband. And give me your names.
My name is Tony Carter. And this is Bill.
Tony and Bill. Tony and Bill. So we're glad to have you guys. And we have with Frontier, if you guys would introduce yourselves.
I'm Nick Klaus. I'm local manager here in Franklin.
Okay. And I believe Judy Chapman is here, is with DNET. Okay. Is anybody else here going to be a part of that discussion?
The three of us are with Boston West. I'm Matt Sanger.
Gotcha. Okay. So, Mr. Manager, Commissioners, I don't know how you guys want to start.
Please, the boss will wait. What's your name?
Terry McElroy.
Shannon Powell.
So, I guess just to open the discussion, where do we go? What's the answer to get our ultimate goal, achievable or not, but we have to have a goal, is that every square inch of Macon County has great cell phone service and internet. And that's our goal. Okay? That may not be achievable, it may be impossible. So where do we start? What are the issues for you? If somebody jump in and...
I just wanted to ask first, is that map of the areas that are served available to us? Like,
It's public record. Yeah.
We do, and Mr. Jack Morgan with the Director of Planning Community Development is here tonight, and he has, I think, some maps.
Yeah. I put one for each of the commissioners. I shouldn't have one. And yourself.
Yeah. Where did you look at it?
It's folded up. I put it in your mailbox.
We didn't check our mail. Why don't you expect us to check our mail? So the answer to the question is yes, we do have those, and we'd be happy to make those available.
Mr. Chairman, since we got two different organizations, let's go with the alphabet. We got Frontier,
Morris.
we got DNET 48 here. DNET, Frontier, Morris,
Boston West.
we got going back to Boston.
Sure. Or have questions? What do you need to ask of us?
I had told them when I reached out to each one of them that it was more of a going to be a panelized discussion where each commissioner would have some questions and direct those questions to them. And they can answer those questions as best they saw fit. So, with that being said, I think that our planning board has done a lot of work, like you alluded to, Mr. Chairman. And in the course of those discussions, the planning board came to the realization that this stuff is above something that we need to be talking about. We need to actually reach out to those providers, and the commissioners need to reach out to those providers and just maybe have a discussion on, what obstacles do each of you face in terms of our mountainous terrain, topography, in getting broadband into the communities, and at what point does it become a business savvy? Obviously, everyone's private business. At what point does the customer base get to a level where you say, hey, this is something we need to look into, or this is the price point we're looking forward to be able to go out into a community? Just to start there, I think would be, what are the major hurdles with broadband and getting that to the communities?
So, and just, let's just have an open discussion. I really don't want this to be formal. I think that's going to stifle discussion, so just jump in.
Sure, I'll jump in. I think the map is a great suggestion, because that would give us the opportunity to overlook our infrastructure and see if there's possibilities that make it more feasible for us to access now and what could be for the future. All of us have fiber throughout the county. There may be some areas that our fiber goes by. Our fiber comes up how we want to get light open to make some houses and communities and houses can fed off of that because of that. So there might be some areas for us that we can cut from that. The same would probably not the other. The biggest obstacle we run into is the trend for us, because there's a certain model we have to meet internally to get the funding, to present, to get the funding. So we look at things like the average penetration, like for Macon County.
What does that mean?
Well, that means how many customers, if you have 10 customers, how many would 10 pass 10 homes, how many would actually become customers?
Yeah,
And then look at the average revenue.
and you have to look at what it's going to cost you to set that infrastructure up to get those 10 customers or 50 customers or 20. And what does that break even point? And I just throw this out. At one point, I had conversations with the Speaker of the North Carolina House, Tim Moore, about 2 weeks ago about the same thing. And this is probably a little more difficult here because of our terrain, but this is a problem all over North Carolina. It's not just a Macon County problem. So we talked about, is there a possibility? At this point, I'm not making statements, I'm asking questions. Is there a possibility that local and state government can partner with private business? It's done all the time, the Department of Commerce to infrastructure grants. I'm on the governor's committee for that. And we give grants to counties to help expand the business, improve the business. So that's public dollars that help a private business. So this is the same thing. Nobody's ever done it. But that doesn't mean we can't start the ball rolling. So is that a possibility? If you're looking at an area, Judy, out Cartoon J, okay, and there's 60 customers out there, for example, I'm using a specific example back here, and it's going to cost you, I don't even know a number, $50,000, $20,000 to get something out there. Then is there some formula that we can maybe come up with where counties can kick in 10%, the state can kick in 50%, I'm trying to go low. And again, I'm saying this in I'm not making statements, I'm asking questions. Is that somewhere that makes sense we could go with this, Judy?
I don't know that there's a magic formula out there as far as 90/10, 50/50, but there certainly is a precedent for some private companies working with nonprofits and perhaps even government entities to provide services.
Because my point is, if it's going to cost you X amount of dollars to get 50 customers, you're not going to get your investment back for 30 years. You don't want to do that. That's not a good business decision. But if the county and the state pay 2/3 of that infrastructure, now all of a sudden it becomes profitable for you and it provides good internet service to the customer. And to me, that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense. Yeah, absolutely.
And even though it might be a statewide problem, if you look at the map, the 20 far west counties have much more of a problem than the rest of the state. They don't even compare to the rest of the state. And when you go to Raleigh, you see the lobbyists working. They have to tag each other to keep from lobbying each other.
Yeah.
So there is a reason here we don't have this service. And it all is not just, it's all about the money. So that's what I'm talking about, ask the question about is the money. So, it's not a luxury no more. It's going to become a necessity for us rural counties to have this service. And so there is some money set aside in the Southwest Commission, Mr. Chairman, for, I think it's about around $300,000 for us to go out, we can ask for, to do a study, another study, that we know what we need already.
We've already studied.
We studied it. We know the people tell us what we need. So, you know that Frontier, Mr. Panel was here the other night, he tell us about certain areas and that you try to provide, and like it gets that certain module, you know, to replace that. You know what I'm talking about, I don't know. But there are some new rules, you know, about, I know this from being down there listening, trying to listen. My question is have y'all studied it at all, looking at rural communities like Macon County? Has anybody in the room studied it to go to where Paul Hickley lives on Birmingham, to these outlying areas where people, because what happens is everybody that's moving here is really hindering now the growth of Macon County, because that's the first question. I'm in the building business. The first question they ask is, we have built houses on Diamond Falls, and the people would like to move there, but they cannot get unless they use the Hughes network. So the question is, who has studied without a map? You don't really need a map. You know what Macon County looks like. So who has really studied that?
We've looked at multiple communities. I mean, what's the area we looked at right off in Otto? And there's several different ones that we've looked at, and our biggest obstacle was getting to it, and the economic feasibility of getting to it. But if there's any type of shared type of like you're talking about, that would be an open thing to discuss, because we don't mind putting money into it. It just gets to a point, like any business, that it doesn't go forward.
Is it 50 customers? Is it 10? Is it 92?
It depends. It's very variable, because if it's aerial or underground. If it's underground, the costs are 3 or 4 times more
expensive
than it is aerial. So you've got multiple.
Aerial has to be line of sight.
No. For me, I'm hardline.
I'm going for pole.
Aerial as in the air.
Poles, I'm sorry. Yeah. So we look at that, and that is a variable in it itself. And we look to at the different costs, and then we can go from there and see how much that we can put into that work, and then give a number for the difference. We've worked with a lot of different developments ourselves, developers, where we do a build share with them, and similar to what you referred to. A lot of times developers build a new subdivision, will pay for the services to be there, but we have an agreement to pay back for every customer we get, so then it comes through. So then there's also those type of agreements that we come into. So there's an open variety of different ways we can approach it. So I think everybody would be willing to.
So what I'm hearing, I'm watching body language and sort of the words as well. You're saying this discussion is a good one, and it's a direction we probably ought to pursue.
Yeah.
Okay. You start to say something. Chester.
A great presentation at the last meeting or the meeting before. Is it Judy? Cartuka J.
Nikki.
I'm sorry.
McCall, yeah.
I thought that was a wonderful presentation, and I don't know whether you talked with any of these people or not.
Yes, I myself, we work with a consultant, Tim Will, from Catawba Group, and I've talked to everybody within the last, I'd say, year.
Okay.
I talked to Frontier about a year ago on the phone. I had a meeting with Judy. Tim met with this group over here, and I know you're very familiar with Tim. So we pretty much contacted all the providers, and we work openly. We were looking at 2 solutions, and when I met with Judy, I told her that I wanted to see Morris come up to Gillespie Chapel. So we lay it all out there, and then Judy, do this other deal that we're doing, and everybody knows what we're doing. So,
well, I thought your presentation was particularly good because y'all had gone out apparently beat pushes and determined that in a certain area, you had X number of customers ready, willing, and able to sign up. Is that the type of information that would be helpful to the various providers? I mean, if you knew you had 60 people that are ready, willing, and able right then and there to sign up if it was there.
It absolutely is.
And
Because
you,
it takes any shadow of doubt out of
and
it.
you get back to Ronnie's, does it mean 10 customers, 20 or 92? That depends on the area, how far it is to get into it, how you're going to get into it, and then what's your ROI, what your return on investment is to be.
Right.
And I guess in my mind, I'm thinking it's all good because it's such a new discussion. I don't think there's a model, unless there's one somewhere where people are already doing this, is who, so then who facilitates that? Who is the lead agency? Is it each county? Does the state of North Carolina need to get involved in that? Or, I mean, any ideas there about how this needs to work? Yeah.
I know over in Graham County, Rick, I don't remember his last name. David, yeah, thank you. He, when we were Verizon, he worked with the state somehow and got funds where they paid half of the cost of set DSL switches. And I think there were two that they said. One was Sequoia. I can't remember where the other ones are. But anyway, they never got those DSL for those 300 customers unless they had provided those funds from the state or whatever agency. But if you want DSL, say for Mr. Higdon, there's going to have to be some funds because it's just too expensive to push internet that far without a ready return. A lot of times it used to be 5 years, like that was 3, 2 years. And they got to get the business back quick. So, but yeah, if you know the number of customers, it'd be a great help. Because I know that someone took one time for Styles, Chillico, they call it Styles, phone company, but I think there's like 106 customers that have one DSL. But the cost of giving those 106 customers, it costs like $22,000 for it. So you have to offset part of that cost to get those customers DSL. But you'd have to put
And so for each area of our county, it's probably a little different formula. It's going to depend on how remote it is, how far is it between the customers, what's your density of population, and there's a lot of.
Absolutely. I wanted to speak to, you mentioned Rick Davis in Graham County. He's basically in charge of a nonprofit group, WAVE stands for Graham Revitalization Economic Action Team, and they also partnered with us on a grant that they did. We provided all of the infrastructure and towers, and they basically just gave us, if you come to our area, then we will provide X number of, we'll purchase this amount from you, and so that worked well for us, because then we were going to have to sign them back. So, and I think a good point in looking at that, Graham County partnered with several different types of providers. There's not one kind of service that will be able to do everything, so that's a very good one to look at.
But between all of you, there's at least the potential to reach everyone.
If you went down to say the Tillico, and ran a line from Tillico, does that then make it, if you're talking about people, if you've got that line in the ground, does that then make it, hey, let's look at Rose Creek, because we've already got that line in there, we can run off that, just run it right up Rose Creek. Does that make Rose Creek then become, and just use that as an example, a more competitive option, or would you look at it harder because that infrastructure is already in Tillico, and you can run off that line or keep it?
Yeah, we'd run it down the county, just follow that path, because it's copper bed now, it's what kind of behind the schools, it's copper bed. So we'd run fiber down, Highway 28, that left, so it's a switch there. And we'd have 7 new switches, but that was like I said, copper bed, and then basically doing that switch. And those switches, the ones we have now, $50,000 just for the switch. Now, run that fiber down there, you've got what, 4 or 5 miles of fiber, and you're looking at $50,000 for fiber. So, you know, you're looking at $300,000 for that particular switch. This is off there, right? This is not accurate, but it's close. So, you know, there's a lot of play in that, which way to go. But there's no way, you know, go here on a line of sight with, you know, antennas or whatever, and that's it. They do have to go by. Because, are you familiar with the CAT funding, the Native American Fund, the federal government? Okay. North Carolina is used up most of about all their funding. Well, we haven't used it up. What happened is we did so successful at it that they're going to take those funds and put it in other states until they catch up to North Carolina. So, that CAT funding for 2017 is kind of out the door. But that's gone a long ways to, you know, providing a lot of service for a lot of people. But, you know, we're looking every day to expand. And we know everybody wants to scoop children on the street. It doesn't have any. It doesn't have some necessity.
But as Mr. Bill said, all of us get this. If you back up even 5 years ago, that wasn't the case as much. Certainly, if you go back 10, I mean, nobody basically had that kind of service. I had dial-up service in my house not too long ago. Now we've got DSL. It's okay, it's great, but it's working with it. But as Rodney said, to me, this is an economic development issue as much as anything. You got educational safety, but you've got now. I've got a cousin that lived in Atlanta, worked for AT&T for years. He didn't want to live in Atlanta, and he worked out a deal with them where he actually works here in Franklin. He's got high-speed internet. He's a manager for AT&T in Atlanta. His office is in Atlanta, and he's got a house here in Franklin that's in an area that has high-speed internet, and he wouldn't have done that had not had that. So that's the point. If you take that and you multiply this for the whole area of our county, you're talking about huge economic impact for us. And I think we all
And
get
some of us really feel, and we've talked about it, and all the chairman's talked about it, I've talked about it, we testified to that we're being penalized because of what we're doing. And we are. And not necessarily by the company, because you're in business, and I we realize that. Me and Nick is in this conversation. But you boil it all down to the nitty gritty. You drive to Old Fort Mountain, you're in a different world. When it comes to the broadband access. You go to the foot of Old Fort Mountain. From there east, you're in a different world. And that's not that far to find a road, you know. But because of where we live, we get penalized. And to me, that there's something about that says that with all the technology that's available, and there are new FCC rules about what service can be provided, they're trying to apply to us. You know, or what megabytes of what, how strong that service has to be. But, and who gets the service? There's new rules on that. But when it comes to the part of where we live, nobody seems to have read those rules. We remind them of that. I've heard the chairman remind them of that. And so, why don't we live under the rules? Does anybody have an answer to that?
I don't know.
Is it all about money?
Well, it is, for a lot of us.
It's all about money.
I mean, like any business, you can't do a negative business model. You just can't, or you go under. And so there's certain limitations to that, and there's rain in the area that does fall into that.
So we are getting penalized where we live. Not where we live.
It does. It really does, because it makes it harder for any of us to reach.
You would have the Boston Loop, which is probably nothing like it in anywhere. But it don't. It just can go so far.
There are 4 or 5 things that you could identify that the county could take a leadership role on that would help you get to a place where it would become attractive for you to explore providing more internet service or broadband service in this area. 4 or 5 things that you could identify for the county that they can take the leadership role on to try to run that information down and get that information together.
I think we're taking a great first step then. Survey you've done. That's all of us.
And we didn't have the maps. We had
Maps don't show you the dead
That's
spots, though.
Yeah.
Maps don't show you the dead spots. They just show you the existing towers.
Yeah. Are those pretty?
Is somebody else?
Yeah, somewhere between $50,000 and $75,000 a mile
To come off the Boston West Loop?
to come off of the loop. And to build fiber, put fiber in, whether, and in our experience, aerial has been almost about as costly as underground, because in this area, there's a lot of, I'll just say, older big power poles. And there are certain height restrictions on the last rung that you can put a non-power cable on before you have to raise the pole. So those pole change-out fees are expensive. So for us and where we have built, which we don't currently do residential, we've just gone ahead and built underground because the cost has been about the same. But it's anywhere from $50,000 to $75,000 a mile easy. So back to your point of how many and the distance and how many customers, if Ronnie's the only one on his road and it's a mile to build it, it's $75,000 before we deliver anything. That's just getting there. And one of the things that I think is top on the list with these maps is great, but also if we can work together and look at the map, but also aggregate, oh, in this area, there's a pocket of 60 people in this area.
And I was going to say, our mapping department has very sophisticated software that we can even go into the point and go by each parcel and say, select all parcels that have a structure that is greater than $10,000 in value. And it will select all the parcels in Macon County that have a structure that's over $10,000 in value. So, and you use that $10,000 number a lot of times on that mapping because you know if the structure's over $10,000, it's a home. And you can then get it down to where do we mail the tax bill? Is it getting mailed out of town? Is it a seasonal resident? Or does the tax bill go to the address or a P.O. box in Macon County? We can select those parcels that have structures on them in each community and highlight those and make it a layer on that software and distribute it to each one of them, to every single provider. And that, I was thinking, that would give you guys an excellent starting point because you can say, hey, on this road, there's 80 homes that have a structure valued over $10,000 and we're already to right here, so maybe we should look. Maybe we should take a hard look with something like that. If I could get those developed and get those to you all.
And that's something we can do. We wouldn't be a cost to you.
We know we got to be a partner, but has any of the companies looked at doing any expansion of fiber anywhere for the next 5 years? Anywhere?
Macon County?
Anywhere? Of any creek, of any holler, of any, anywhere?
Yeah, it's been discussed. They're using a lot of the CAF money for that.
But you said, Nick, that was more away.
Well, it's not going away, it's just, they're just working funds.
You have that, no.
They're working funds in other states, is what I think. It's coming back, it's not coming back to 2017.
So we're not looking at expanding that in the next 5 years. Now, nobody really looks seriously at it.
Yeah.
For us, our biggest money has been improving our current infrastructure, since we've owned it for the last 7 years. For us internally, because you have to get your current infrastructure in place to be able to handle the explosion rather than add people to it. And we're to that point now for us that we can start looking.
So if we take the next logical step is to do what our manager suggested. This identification of homes and new potential customers. Identifying that, then we can start talking about costs. We can talk about, is there state money available? Is there economic development money available? Those are questions we need to be asking. But is the next logical step to identify these places and see?
And Andy's our IT director, Andy Munson.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Years ago, we received a coverage map from one of our fiber providers and actually gave us some information that we weren't able to share with the public, but they were GIS coverage maps that showed us where the poles were located. And it was very helpful for the county to be able to extend service. And so my recommendation to the manager is to extend an invitation to these providers to provide GIS coverage maps, if they have such, for their service, so that we can overlay them on our GIS maps and help them identify areas that are just outside of their reach that might be trying to. So I'd ask the manager to extend that invitation to any providers that are able to do that, and they may have agreements that we're only able to use those for this project, for identifying and communicating with these providers, and come up with some sort of agreement to share that information.
I think that's a great idea. I mean, but is that something that is proprietary? I mean, you won't share that?
We should be able to, but I don't have to do it.
And Andy, you're talking about a GIS coverage.
Actually, ENC transferred their mapping data to NC1 map, and there are quite a bit of coverage data on those maps, but it's not really accurate. It shows the potential coverage area, but it's not something that has like a viewshed analysis. It's basically just the proposed coverage area. Like Morris, for example, might show some territory that's covered, but there's properties in there that aren't actually able to get service from Morris at this time. And so I'd like to see how it lines up with the survey the planning board provided. And if we could get those coverage maps with some sort of agreement that we would just use them for that project, and that they would not be the property or for us to share with other providers, that would be very helpful if any of the providers could come forward with that data.
Well, and two, another thing, just to speak to that a little, I think if anybody has heartburn with sharing it, these overlays of all the parcels that have home sites on it, or have homes that are sitting on these parcels with the roads, would you all like topographies on the maps? And we could just go community by community and provide you with that. We could either do the overlay for y'all if we had that information. We can incorporate it into our mapping software, or that's something you guys could do if we provided you with those maps. But we'd be more than happy to work with y'all and put anything that you all want on there, in addition to giving you whatever that our software has the capability to produce, which is pretty much anything related to mapping.
Do y'all ever work together? I mean, it ain't like everybody's got secrets.
We all have.
Yeah.
I mean, we have agreements with Mark. The difference between y'all and Mark, probably the county has agreement with him. We have a contract, more or less, with Mark Broadband. The county does, to provide certain services. They work with the county, whereas you are, that's for, that's a little bit different than their provider. If they have a contract with the county and have had since it goes way back to MediaCom, to get all the other names. But if we can get all the information put together, what's on? I know y'all talk about what's in the future, Nick, at Frontier and Boston West, and these real outlying areas where you can't. So it's just not feasible. For these folks, in 3 or 4 more years, there's got to be something out of this. What's in the future? What is the future of when you can't run fiber, when you can't dig a ditch? What is the future? Is y'all going to be satellite? Is it going to come through?
There's a lot of talk of what we do that, and there's a lot of testing going on. Google's one of the ones that's trying to do it, through the sky and all that kind of thing. But the biggest focus that I've seen is fiber. I mean, fiber to the home. A lot of the funding that has come out from the state, and grants you could do is a fiber to the home solution. It's a fiber to the home solution. So that's been a big focus from the state in the Raleigh areas, is to have grants available for people to expand fiber into Gulf Creek.
Does Trump's fiber come down again?
It has. I mean, it's all about underground. It's all about the poles, like she mentioned. It all boils down to that, because a lot of times you're putting coax, wireless solution in, or whatever it is, it just all depends on just rate. And that really is a big hindrance for creek expansion. But there's grants out there for fiber to the home that we can apply.
Does that from all cost include right-of-way acquisition? That's just great.
Do you have to get in the right-of-way acquisition business? You would have to do that.
Very seldom. If there's a power line there, we can usually go in and close it.
DOT allow encroachment on their easements and right-of-ways for purposes of installing underground.
Yeah, they do.
We've had to acquire private.
Private, so they're not worse, but they're the most difficult. For the DOT, you typically have a contract with the state, so if you get permits in your area, you've already worked with the state to want to get that. Same with the power poles. As long as you put on the power pole, you probably already worked that situation out, and you just have to pay per and apply for it. But the private easements can take a long time, and we found that most people are helpful and cooperative of allowing internet and services to come to the area versus wanting to hold it hostage.
It's like getting
Just
water.
time.
We appreciate, we appreciate all of y'all being here tonight and sitting through our hour of business before we finally got to you. You can see what we do. I'm just thinking here of how we might move this forward, without holding you here for the next hour and continually quiz all of you. It would be feasible if we get a contact, maybe a lead contact from each one of you. And I know I've got a list of questions here. I'll mention Carl Gillespie in the back that had sent me about the planning board that had come out, and then I've got questions for the other commissioners. I'm sure I'm thinking about other things tonight. Would it be okay if we put y'all up with a few questions via email, and you can give us a broad answer coming back?
And we need to continue this discussion. This is a good second
Jack,
step.
y'all involved in
As part of that, the board would just send all the questions that you want us to send. I'll send them out to them, along with, I'll also ask what, on the map that we can produce, what you all would look for specifically, if it's parcel identification structures, topographies, etc., what you all would like on that, and we'll, with me to pleasure, we'll get started working on those immediately.
Absolutely. That's what you all need to decide if you make it work, right? And I talked to the manager about this when we started talking about this. It's what I didn't want to do, and I don't think this board wants to do. Too many times the government start talking about something, it's talked, and the committee's formed, and 3 years go by and nothing's happened. And that's what we do not want to happen. We want to find out what solutions we get. Are there solutions? I'm hearing that there are. And then what are the steps to that? I'm just going to be here another month and a half. Somebody else will be in this seat just interested in moving forward. So I just want to make sure that we move forward and we get this started. So, Derek, you got the contact information?
Yes, so the other counties look at like rural county in the west.
Can I ask one question?
Yes, sir.
I got lost while ago. You talk about local government. I understand there's a lot of laws that hinder local government from becoming involved with you from a monetary sense. Is that right? 2011. I think it's when I've read stuff politically, and they don't want the counties to become right. And so I believe there's some laws saying you can't be that with the county.
There are, but the change has been because that's why I'm sort of framing this as economic development, as education, government, state and local constantly puts money into education, economic development, constantly. So now, internet has become that. It wasn't 5 years ago or 10 years ago, but it is now. So I think that's why we can proceed. It's good. If I'm right, Judy.
That needs to come from the legislature.
we'll see what we can do.
Lots of it.
Get later.
I think also there's a difference in being a facilitator and a helper, being funds and infrastructure and asset board, ownership of that versus trying to be a provider. And that is something to me that the government and the local areas can help with. Finding funds to do them, even if they're matched or not matched. But whereas you don't become the provider, but you facilitate providers
Right,
coming in
and that's what I'm saying,
price.
we don't want to be the provider.
Right.
You're the
You don't.
provider. And so we just want to come up with a way, and I totally get, I own a couple of small businesses myself, much smaller obviously than you all, but I understand you can't spend money you don't make. You're a for-profit business, you're not a 501c3 company, you're a for-profit, and we totally get it. But if we can partner with you and bring internet service to rural parts of our county, I think everybody wins. It's service. It's just like in the day providing trash service was an essential thing. To me, that's what this is. This is a service to our citizens, and I think it's a good expenditure of tax money.
You know, we encourage each of the providers that are here this evening to identify half a dozen or so things that the county could possibly take the lead on to move this forward. As the chairman indicated, he doesn't want to see us talk about it tonight and then it die tonight, tomorrow. And I think if we can get some of those things, then maybe we can like you evaluate whether or not we can take the lead on those things.
So, Judy?
Actually, we've looked at a number of places over the last year, and usually it comes for a wireless provider, you want a property that's identified that sees a lot of houses. And the two most challenging things, I think, are basically roads, getting a road to it. Everybody has a nice big property on a ridge somewhere, but when we factor in the cost of getting the road, it crosses that line, where it's no longer feasible to do that. So on your mapping, you mentioned you could layer different things. Roads are really important for our wireless providers. And a number of them have been suggested where the road is the part that it's specific.
Anything else that we need to add? We discussed this enough to sort of, I feel like we've in the direction, and I think we can move forward with these maps and the questions we have for y'all. Derek, I'd suggest maybe come back and get that, have this discussion again with the same people.
We'll get these questions together, and as Chester indicated, we'll include on that email any suggestions you have for us so that we can continue to assist you however we can. And we will also ask, in addition to what we mentioned here tonight, if there's anything else you would like to see on the map so we can have a final idea before we go to the drawing board what all we need to put on the map.
Would you like a timeline? And once we get the questions, you want a timeline, you have those answers back to me? We'll put it on the board.
Once we get that together, we'll stick that in.
It'll take you a while. It'll take everybody a while to go.
Thank you guys for being here. I certainly will cut off the discussion, but I think we've got the point that we sort of get where we need to be, and I think everybody gets your part of it. And I think there's a lot of potential here for you guys and for us. Thank you.
We hope.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Where do you live? Oh, Hendersonville, okay. Not too far. That's the eastern part. We know where it is. Thank you, Nick. Thank you. Judy, thank you. You got it.
Yeah, close to the end.
I'm not gone.
Put your name on it.
Everybody's going to take a 5-minute recess.